Thank you very much. And thank you to the Community Foundation for this opportunity to present on work and economy. Such a great organization. I had the privilege to be on the board a few years back, and the amazing work that you do for our communities across Southeast Alberta. So today I'm going to speak about Apex. Realizing that probably not everyone's familiar with Apex, it's the Regional Innovation Network of Southeast Alberta, or RIN for short. And RINs support the startup and growth of innovative and technology-oriented businesses. And there's actually 8 RINs across the province. Ours is called Apex, and we're a collaborative initiative between Medicine Hat College, Community Futures, and Alberta Innovates. And together we serve all of these communities, helping tech and knowledge-based businesses across the Southeast region. So I was requested to speak on 3 things from the Community Foundation, and that is the impact that the pandemic has had on work and economy in the community, how this affected our organization, and how employment and the economy can be supported moving forward. So that's a lot for 5 minutes, so I'm going to be rather quick. To start off with that impact, just like Kelly said, in those early days, it really was about getting information to businesses and also funding. It was very needed in the beginning. And then as things started to progress, we realized, as businesses did, that businesses need to have an online presence, and we too had to have more of an online presence. And finally, we're seeing a lot of things now in terms of workforce that were there before COVID, and they've really resurfaced, and we're starting to see that now. In some cases, they've been amplified. So our response, well, in those early days, of course, it was about information. So we had multiple events and training sessions. That first year of the pandemic, 71 online events for the year, and almost 9,500 small and medium-sized enterprises and individuals reached. And thank you to all of the businesses and the partners who were on YXH Business Support to get those messages out and that information out in those early days. And then, of course, funding. Big shout out to our partner, Community Futures Launch Corp, who gave out $4.8 million to companies through the Regional Relief and Recovery Fund across Southeast Alberta. So very, very needed, that funding to get into the hands of businesses. And finally, the Business and Innovation Grant. Staff here were happy to administer the applications for that initiative. And I believe over 200 were processed. And finally, in terms of other economic development projects, the partners were able to do that and bring in $1.1 million to the communities. And of course, one of those initiatives is Shop YXH that Kelly has just mentioned. So I won't say much about that, but an initiative that started right at the beginning was the Shop Here program. And that was one to get businesses online. It provided a free website and used students to help get there. We're very excited that this program is back, and we're also excited that we have more funding coming, because being online and in the digital world is still a need. And again, Shop YXH has already been mentioned, but thank you to all the partners who have been involved with that. And we were very happy that we could play that founding role and getting the grant to get that initiative off the ground. We've also worked with other partners. As Kelly mentioned, social media really exploded, and so we've had different training programs with different partners, a social media conference with the Chamber and the college, and that's an annual event, but it was really needed this year, and we're glad that we had over 100 businesses attend that. And finally, long-term, in terms of workforce. So as I mentioned, we're seeing some things that were prevalent even before COVID-19 come back now. So we were involved with the Brood project right from the beginning, the Apex partners. And there were, for those not familiar with that program, there was 476 businesses that participated in that study. And from that study, 42 projects were identified and recommended. And 15 of those have now advanced to date. And so we're continuing to implement the remaining projects that make sense. Some are being modified, some are being changed, and some are even more relevant now than ever. So Move to Medicine Hat is one example. So despite the pandemic going on, we were still in touch with companies. So there was 50 key employee interviews that were conducted, and they said, you know, we still need help attracting candidates to Medicine Hat. These are some of the largest employers in Medicine Hat. And they said, we need a spot where information is in one spot about our community and move to work, move to play, move to learn, move to live. We need that all in one area because we need to attract people to our communities. A lot of these positions were highly skilled positions, the science, technology, engineering, and math, not all, but a lot of them. And so people were information hungry and wanted to know more about our community. So if you've not seen the site, I greatly encourage you to go to it. Move to medicinehat.ca. Tourism has done an amazing job on this. I also want to give a shout out to the Medicine Hat College. Apex staff were not involved with this initiative, but I do think that this is one that was greatly needed in our community. And so I'm so thankful to the college and the partners that worked with them on this to bring this to make sure that job fairs were still happening in our community in a time of COVID. And speaking of the college, we are very excited to continue to work with them on a few new initiatives for women. You'll see in the report from Community Foundation that women have had a very tough time this pandemic. Some are even calling it a she session. And so we need to provide more supports for women, and we will be doing that in the near future. So that leads me to the last point. Community Foundation said, how employment and the economy can be supported moving forward, and that is to support businesses. Businesses are creating the jobs, and so really that is the best thing we can do. Shop local and support local. And especially those companies that are the change makers, inventors, and trailblazers. They are diversifying our economy, and they're doing it right here from the southeast corner. So please support them. We have a great new initiative going on called Innovators to Watch. It's featuring companies from across the entire area of southeast Alberta and what they're doing to diversify our economy and move forward. And finally, speaking of businesses, please let them know that there is supports available and there are more things coming. There actually has been a lot of supports, and I know some have said it's a bit overwhelming. For our tech and knowledge-based companies, we try to streamline that. And one program from our partner Alberta Innovates that I'm really excited to announce that will be coming in the new year is 4 new tech accelerators. And so it has been noted that in Alberta, we don't have a startup problem, we actually have a scale-up problem. And so these accelerators will help get companies to the next level. So if you know of tech and knowledge-based companies that could use the service, please connect with us. And I know I've covered a lot of information today. I want to let everybody know that we're actually going to be putting all this information in an exciting new space. We've been working with our core partners, Community Futures, Alberta Innovates, the college, as well as the Chamber and DRDC on this exciting new initiative called the Community Innovation Connector, and it will be launched soon. That's all I can say for now, but we're excited to tell you more and excited to bring innovation to this community. For now, please visit our website to find out more, and please connect with us on our social media networks as well, and I would be happy to tell you more in the question period as well. Thank you.